gave the proceeds to the poor, and devoted his life entirely to God. Anthony retreated to the desert, spending years in solitude, prayer, and fasting. Though he sought isolation, many people sought him out for guidance, and his way of life inspired the development of monasticism. Monasticism is a group or a system in the Catholic Church where people go out to the desert and dedicate themselves to solitude, prayer, and fasting. So Anthony's life was not without challenges. He endured intense spiritual battles, including temptations and demonic attacks. And through these trials, he learned to rely solely on God, emerging as an example of faith and perseverance. There are a few things that we can learn from the life of Saint Anthony. The first one is perseverance in times of temptation. Again, Saint Anthony faced many temptations aimed at distracting him from his pursuit of holiness. But he overcame these temptations through prayer, fasting, and unwavering trust in God. And his perseverance mirrors the lesson in today's reading from Hebrews, when it says that entering God's rest requires diligence and endurance. Secondly, we are taught to be detached from anything that prevents us to become closer to God. Anthony's decision to sell his possessions reflects the gospel's call to prioritize eternal treasures over worldly wealth. And similarly, the letter to the Hebrews urges us to focus on God's promise rather than fleeting comforts. And finally, we can see in the life of Anthony about his faith in God's healing power. Like the paralytic in today's gospel, Anthony placed his faith in God's power to heal and transform. His faith allowed him to overcome inner struggles and become a vessel of God's grace. So Saint Anthony left us with profound spiritual wisdom. And two of his most notable sayings include, he says, "Whoever sits in solitude, that is in silence, and is quiet, has escaped from three ways: hearing, speaking, and seeing. Yet against one thing shall he continually battle, that is his own heart." So we can think of someone who steps away from the constant noise of modern life, turning off their devices and sitting in silence. And yet, while one has already left the distractions of the world, but in solitude, in silence, one still faces the deeper challenge of confronting their own thoughts, or one's fears and one's desires. So this battle of the heart is where transformation begins. That is, as we learn to surrender to God and find His peace. But such discipline aligns with the message in Hebrews again, to strive to enter in God's rest. And then secondly, St. Anthony says, our life and our death are with our neighbor. If we gain our brother, we have gained God. But if we scandalize our brother, we have sinned against Christ. And resonates with today's gospel, where Jesus not only heals the paralytic, but restores his dignity and relationship with the community. Once again, the gospel reminds us of the importance of love and forgiveness in living a life that is centered in Christ. Again, the first reading